Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. This episode is chock full of roommate drama. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie. Let's get to our first story.
Am I the asshole for telling my roommate that speaking a language is not a personality and she needs to find a new one?
I mean, I could see this going both ways. That would be super annoying, but this is her hobby. So that seems a little bit harsh.
I, female 19, am in my first year of college, living with a roommate, Katie, female 19. Katie speaks 3 languages, English, German, and Spanish. She makes it her whole personality.
I mean, 3 languages, if you're fluent in all 3, is pretty impressive.
I would assume she's probably there to study language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I ask what she's watching something in another language, so I obviously can't watch it. She's always listening to music on her headphones, and when I tried to bond and listen to what she's listening, it's in another language again, and I couldn't stand it.
I don't feel like music being in another language is a big deal. Is that just because, I never even understand the lyrics if they're in English? And so, when it's in a different language, it doesn't bother me that much?
I'm not a good person to ask that question because I also don't listen to the lyrics of songs when we listen to them. It's just blah da 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 da. Hey Macarena, blah da 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 da.
My current favorite band is a metal band from India.
I know, we're a good match for that because I do not care what the singer is saying. I just want to listen to the notes. Her friends all speak one of the languages she does, and whenever I hear them, I can't join the conversation because they're mixing everything, so I'm left out of the convo. The other day, I saw she had a new book on her desk, Portuguese course book. I asked her about this, and she said she's taking private Portuguese classes starting February. I told her she has to let it go, that she needs to develop her personality because speaking a language isn't a personality trait and she's just boring.
Okay, that is harsh and uncalled for.
She got really annoyed with me and told me I'm an asshole and to stop eavesdropping on her convos. I told her she's boring and has to fake her personality. Now she's not speaking to me. My friends are split. Some agree with me and some agree with her. Who's the asshole here? Am I the asshole for telling the truth?
Yeah, you're the asshole. That was rude and uncalled for.
No, but she's boring, Kristie. She knows other languages like a nerd.
I mean, I feel like this is probably your roommate's major is foreign languages. So she's just talking about her coursework and stuff. This is no different than computer scientists talking about programming all the time.
She's doing lots of other things than just speaking languages. It's just she's doing them in another language, probably to practice while watching a movie.
Yeah, she's watching movies, she's listening to music, she's having conversations with friends. She's just also practicing her language skills while she's doing this, and you're just mad because you feel left out.
Or she just likes the culture.
Yeah.
It sounds like she has other things going on. She's got friends, she's watching shows, she's listening to music. She doesn't sound that boring.
No, it sounds like an average college student.
No, but she needs to get a personality.
And you don't need to be best friends with your roommate in college. I mean, I was, and it was great. But I feel like this roommate has also not made a whole lot of effort to be friends with OP, and OP is very resentful of that fact.
It sounds like it. I have to ask why you can't just turn on English subtitles.
Yeah.
If you're watching it on a streaming channel.
That's a good point. Yeah, totally do that, and then you can join in and watch shows with her.
Yeah.
Why don't you suggest, hey, I wanted to watch this movie. Do you want to watch it with me? An English movie that you are interested in. Why does it always have to be on the roommate?
It does sound like you just want to be involved in her stuff, but not bring her into your stuff.
Yeah, and you're just upset that you can't be involved in your stuff because you don't speak other languages.
Top comment. You're the asshole. Jealousy is not a personality either.
I like that.
You're the asshole. She has a personality. She has friends, interests, and hobbies. Just because you don't like her music or can't keep up with her friends doesn't mean those things don't count. It just makes you sound jealous and judgy. In case you haven't figured it out, Reddit is pretty much you're the asshole in this situation. Between the two of you, you sound like the boring one, to be honest. You're lurking around your roommate, judging her for having interests that don't involve you, and then we're needlessly nasty to her because you can't speak the same languages she does. One of you definitely needs to work on her personality, but spoiler, it's not your roommate.
I feel like OP just desperately wants to be friends with this roommate and is resentful that she cannot participate in all of her roommate's activities.
It sounds like OP actually thinks roommate is super awesome and wants to be her friend.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, they don't want to be my friend. I gotta bash them a little. Am I the asshole for telling my roommate my stripper pole is staying in the living room?
Ooh. Okay, I know a lot of people use the stripper pole as an exercise equipment because, oh my god, does that take muscle strength and core strength.
It takes a lot of core strength.
But I can also see like a lot of more conservative people would be like, I do not want a stripper pole in my house. That is sending the wrong vibes to anybody who visits, because I am a very conservative person. I can see how some people would think that. I personally think it's kind of cool and would be funny. It's a talking point.
I mean, if you go to someone's house and there's a stripper pole in the living room, you gotta at least spin around it once, right?
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, teach me some moves. I wouldn't be able to do any of them because I am not strong.
A few months ago, I, female 20, decided I wanted to take up pole dancing. I told my roommates, Amanda, female 20, and Holly, female 26, that I was thinking of getting one and installing it in the living room, and they said go ahead. Side note, we had no furniture at the time, so this pole was installed in an empty living room. A little while later, since nobody else was getting furniture, I got a couch off Facebook Marketplace. Holly also got a TV for the living room. Right after we got the TV, Holly demanded that we move the pole out of the back side of the living room so that the TV and couch could fit in the corner where the pole already is. I was confused by her request because the couch was already placed close to the center of the living room, and there was an outlet available for the TV to go in front of the couch. I asked Holly why she wanted to move it into the corner, and she said because she wants a cozy little nook. I told her that the pole is quite difficult to move and install, and the pole being in its existing spot gives me enough room. The new spot she suggested would have me slightly in the way of the hallway, and I couldn't tell if there was a stud where she wanted to move it to. Because of those reasons, I told Holly kindly that I wouldn't be moving the pole, and the couch can stay where it is on the other side of the living room. Partly because I own the couch, and since she simply asked me, I'm allowed to say no. She didn't respond well to this. She contacted our rental company and told them that we had an unauthorized stripper pole in our unit that no one agreed to.
But she agreed to it.
But she doesn't want the couch where it is. She needs a nook.
It's not even her couch.
An administrator came to our unit and told me that the pole needed to be removed. I was obviously pissed she snitched on me, so I told Holly if she still wants her cozy little nook, she can get her own couch. I'm restricting her from using mine. Am I the asshole?
Everybody sucks here, I feel like, but Holly sucks more. I do feel like the living room is a joint space, so you all need to kind of agree on what goes into the living room and where. But Holly demanding that you move your stuff around when she doesn't even have anything in that living room just because she wants it that way is asshole behavior. And then snitching on you and making the landlord remove your stripper pole is way overreacting.
Yeah, I think snitching over something that is honestly, it's not a big deal. It's like the arrangement of your living room. Of course, you're going to have an argument about it.
Yeah.
Maybe get the third roommate to do a tiebreaker vote.
That seems reasonable.
Once you bring in the landlord, shots are fired.
Yeah, I would want to retaliate, but I feel like everybody's just going to keep escalating back and forth, and so that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how the pole is installed and if the administrator actually gets a say in whether or not the pole is removed. I believe they have ones that are just tension.
I've seen so many accidents on the internet with those tension ones. You want one that bolts into the ceiling studs.
You do, but if you're in an apartment, I would assume you don't have that.
Well, she said it wasn't easy to move. I bet she did bolt it in.
She might have. And the administrator was mad about it, which probably means she bolted it in.
But I mean, it's already bolted in. The holes are there. Too late. Removing it isn't going to remove the holes in the ceiling.
Top comment. Everyone sucks here. You are both being selfish and immature. Sounds like you guys have some growing up to do.
Yeah, they still think snitching to the real adults is the way to go.
Yeah, right? No, never tell the landlord anything.
No!
You're going to lose your security deposit. And then someone replied to that comment calling them selfish and immature. What do you mean? It's perfectly healthy to ban a roommate from using a couch.
That's a good point. I forgot she did that. I was so distracted by the other roommate. Yeah, banning someone from using a resource in the communal room is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is like gonna turn into an episode of Full House where you use painter's tape to draw a line down the middle of the room.
It absolutely is. Poor Amanda's just gonna be like wandering back and forth.
Yeah. Like, I have crazy roommates.
I just want to get to my room, guys. You're the asshole. Yes, you had permission at first. However, as people get settled in, you need to accept changes. You don't get to permanently hog the common area with your exercise equipment. Put that in your own room where it belongs. It would be like putting an exercise bike or Bowflex in the middle of the living room.
Yes, that is a good point. I mean, the pole itself does not take up very much room, but you need a lot of open space around that pole to use it.
You need clearance, yeah.
Yeah. So that is taking up a huge chunk of the communal space.
Probably doesn't have enough room in her bedroom for it, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, probably not. Is there a basement or somewhere you could put it? A garage, perchance? I feel like those are appropriate places for exercise equipment.
I mean, I was assuming they were in an apartment.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking rental house, but yeah, it's probably an apartment.
If they had a garage or a basement, I would hope that they thought about that in the start. Everyone sucks here. You're the asshole because you are unwilling to compromise in a shared living space. The pole was okay in the living room until you got furniture. Now you don't have an empty room, so it makes sense for your roommates to want to use the living room for its intended purpose. Your roommate is the asshole because she went to property management instead of trying to work with you on finding a compromise. Pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for being upset that my roommate used my expensive steak without asking?
Don't use your roommate's stuff without asking. How hard is that?
If you've read enough Reddit, very hard.
Yeah.
So I, 24 male, live with my roommate, Jake, 26 male, and we generally get along. Yesterday I bought this really nice ribeye steak that cost me like $35. I was planning to cook it tonight for a date I have coming over. I come home from work today and find Jake in the kitchen with an empty steak package in the trash. I asked him about it and he's like, oh yeah, I was really hungry and didn't have anything good to eat, so I cooked that steak. It was amazing, by the way, thanks.
Has he never heard of DoorDash?
DoorDash is expensive.
Yeah.
That steak is free.
Good point. If you're a terrible roommate, yeah, that steak is free.
I told him I was planning to use that for my date tonight, and now I'm scrambling to figure out dinner. He just shrugged and said, you could have labeled it or something. But like, it was in a separate bag on the top shelf, clearly not communal food.
Like, did you buy that steak, Jake? No? Well, then it's not yours. Don't eat it.
Yeah, why would you need to label a raw steak?
I feel like you should know what food you bought and what is yours and what isn't yours.
Right. It doesn't even say that they share resources when it comes to groceries.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you should know better than to eat a steak.
Mm-hmm.
He offered to Venmo me $10 for it, since he has a bit of cash after betting on steak. But that doesn't even cover half of what I paid.
Yeah, he better be Venmoing you $35 plus another like $10 or $15 for the inconvenience of having to go out and buy another steak immediately right before your date comes over.
Right? Yeah, you're scrambling now. He's gonna have to pay that DoorDash fee for having it delivered. Not sponsored by DoorDash. And more importantly, I can't exactly run to the store and get another good cut this last minute. I'm pretty annoyed, but he's acting like I'm overreacting. His argument is that we share most food anyway, so he didn't think it was a big deal. Okay, so they do share food. Still
a steak, one single steak that someone has bought. Most people treat steak as like a special treat, and you buy that steak and you have plans for it.
You didn't even eat half the steak.
Yeah.
It's not like you shared it. This was not communal food. This was like, oh, look, food. I'm gonna eat it all. Am I the asshole for being upset about this? Should I have been clearer about the steak being off limits?
No, not the asshole. Your roommate sucks. Make him pay you the $35 plus an inconvenience fee.
Reddit, unsurprisingly, is not in Jake's corner.
Yeah, Reddit hates food thieves.
They absolutely hate food thieves. Top comment, he owes you 35, not 10. And of course, you're not wrong for being upset. What your roommate did was dead wrong. He shouldn't have eaten a steak he didn't buy, and that's pretty obvious. I suggest you get a locking mini fridge and put it in your room so you can keep special food under lock and key from now on. Your roommate sounds like the type to disregard a note, too.
Like, that was obviously not his steak. I'm not sure a note would have stopped him.
No, he chose crime. I don't know if a note's gonna dissuade him. Label it. He knows he didn't buy it. It probably was labeled with $35 on it anyways. That should have been enough to make him think twice.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I'm sure it had a price tag on it. Why did he not have second thoughts about eating a $35 steak?
Yeah. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's roommate to get over himself after he told me to stop having sleepovers at the apartment?
Okay, wait, let me get this straight. So, roommate doesn't want you staying over at your boyfriend's because that's like an extra person living there, probably, and you're not like paying your part of the rent, is be my guess. And he kind of has a point. But at the same time, like, if you're just spending the night and not like using their resources, does it really matter that much? I am conflicted, but I need more information.
So, I've been with my boyfriend for 4 months. He rents with a guy, Justin, who is a bit of a self-righteous jerk sometimes. The problem started when I started having sleepovers with my boyfriend in the apartment. Justin looked super annoyed whenever he saw me over, which is 5 days a week. He'd just keep huffing and puffing and speak to me rudely. I said nothing till yesterday, when he got back and found me and started a fight with me, telling me to stop having sleepovers. I asked what the fuck was his problem, and he looked at me with a straight face, said, "If you're gonna come over here and use water, electricity, and whatnot 5 days a week, then you might as well start paying rent." He said that in all capital letters. I responded telling him that my boyfriend pays rent, and I use what he uses. Then called him rude and told him to get over himself. He told me he'll get the landlord involved, and my boyfriend asked me to leave so he could figure it out with the guy. I grabbed my stuff and left feeling awful. My boyfriend later called saying I was rude in what I said, and his roommate has a point, especially since I'm using everything in the apartment. And so his roommate felt it was unfair, and my boyfriend asked me to tone down my visits for now. We had an argument after I said he sided with his roommate over me to keep the peace and ended the call. We haven't talked since then. Am I the asshole? Did I go too far?
Dude, everyone sucks here. I mean, when you have a roommate, you have to expect that if they get a significant other, there are going to be sleepovers from time to time. That being said, 5 days a week seems excessive. She's basically living there.
5 days a week means that you live there.
Yeah, that means that you live there. You should maybe be paying part of the rent.
You live there and you're taking your weekends off.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So, I do feel like nobody handled this well, though. They should have, like, roommate just simmered in his rage until it burst out. He should have just had a discussion with them, being like, hey, since you're here so much of the time, you're practically living here, I feel like you should chip in on the rent a little bit.
Or the utilities, at least.
Yeah.
You're not just using your boyfriend's share of the water bill. You and your boyfriend are now using 2/3 of the water bill.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe just utilities, because she's really not taking up any more space. She's staying in her boyfriend's room, but she is using electricity and water and things, so maybe she should chip in on utilities.
I don't know. It sounds like she might be taking up space, too, because he found her.
Oh, yeah, she's just hanging out in the kitchen without her boyfriend.
Yeah, she's in communal areas, so it's almost like she's renting the place. I have to say, they've been together for 4 months. Being over 5 nights a week at this guy's house when you've been dating for 4 months seems fast to me.
It does. Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like the roommate was a little bit rude, but she was even ruder. Like, get over yourself. She just doesn't like this roommate, and she was not hiding it. And that's not... You want to be polite to the roommate, right? You don't want to cause drama.
Yeah, it's just good to be polite to everyone. But also, roommate did snap at you.
Everybody sucks here. Just sit down and have an adult conversation about it, guys.
Yeah, it sounds like that didn't happen. Reddit says she's the asshole. Top comment, you're the asshole. You're not having a sleepover, you're living in that apartment. The dude signed up for 1 roommate, not 2. Start paying 1/3 of the rent. You're the asshole. Staying over 5 nights a week is living there. Even if you don't consider the extra costs, I would hate to have an extra person in my home that much. Can he stay at your place sometimes? That's pretty much everyone's echoing opinions on it. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother move back in with me after he trashed my apartment last time?
Oh no, absolutely not. If anybody ever trashes your apartment, never let them into your personal space again.
But you need to prioritize family, Kristie.
I hate people who say that. If family sucks, don't prioritize them.
My brother, 27 male, and I, 29 female, have always had a complicated relationship. He's the kind of person who's fun to be around in small doses, but he's irresponsible and has a habit of taking advantage of people. 2 years ago, he asked if he could crash at my apartment, just for a few weeks, after breaking up with his girlfriend. I agreed, thinking it wouldn't be a big deal. Those few weeks turned into 6 months of headache. He never cleaned up after himself, constantly had friends over without asking, and left beer cans and takeout containers everywhere. I came home one night to find he had hosted a full-on party in my living room without even telling me.
Wow, he's the worst roommate ever.
He's probably got a lot of excess cash now that he's not paying rent.
Yeah, that he should be paying that to his sister.
But he's just crashing at her house for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you pay rent with family if you're just crashing on their couch for a couple weeks? The final straw was when I discovered he had been smoking inside, which is against my lease, and spilled something on my couch that left a permanent stain. When I told him he needed to move out, he called me uptight and acted like I was being unfair. Now fast forward to last month. He reached out saying he needed a place to stay again because his new lease fell through, and he doesn't have anywhere else to go. I told him no, and he blew up on me, saying I'm heartless and that family is supposed to help family. My parents got involved and said I should let him stay until he got back on his feet, but I refused. Now, some of my family think I'm being reasonable since he burned me once already, while others say I'm cruel for abandoning him. I told them they're more than welcome to let him stay at their place instead. So far, no takers.
No, tell him to, get a hotel or an Airbnb until he figures it out.
Yeah, go to one of those extended stay motels.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, you can get rooms pretty cheap at those really, really crappy extended stay places.
Or call in a favor with all those friends you have at that.
Yeah.
You had him at the party.
He apparently has enough friends to throw a rager, so, go stay with some of them. It seems like he would fit in more with their lifestyle than with his sisters.
Yeah, I don't know why you would want to move back in with Sis.
She's uptight. Why do you want to live with her?
Yeah.
But at the very least, if I did, I'd be like, okay, but you're paying me rent and for a cleaning service. Because you are terrible and don't clean up. That's the only way I would let him move in, is if he prepaid me rent and for cleaning services.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not about the rent, it's about the respect.
Yeah, it is a lot about the respect, and he did not respect her or her personal space.
Right. Reddit is pretty much universal in their decision that you are not the asshole. Top comment, don't take him back. Duh.
Yeah.
Will I be the asshole if I didn't let my roommate stay on the couch every weekend while she is subletting her room?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like you deserve some of that sublet money then.
I didn't even think about that option.
Because you only signed up to have one roommate. If you got a second roommate on the weekends, you deserved a little bit of your rent money for that period covered.
I currently live in a share house with 2 other roommates. One of my roommates decided to work in another town for a few months for a university work placement, so she decided to sublet her room to save money while staying with her family. This arrangement was only intended to last until April, but my roommate has said she's now away until September, as she decided to take on a full-time role following her placement. This wasn't a problem as the person subletting her room is happy to extend their stay, and they have been easy to live with. But now my roommate has said she has a commitment back here every weekend, and intends on staying on our couch in the lounge room every Friday and Saturday night. She didn't really ask if that would be okay. She just stated it to me as if she was assuming it would be fine. I personally don't want to have a 4th roommate using a shared space as a bedroom for 2 nights a week. She would also be using the bathroom 2 of us already share. It just doesn't feel right for her to get the best of both worlds and be able to save her rent money while still using the space when she needs it. The lounge room is also where the front door is, so I would feel like you're walking into and out of someone's bedroom every time you enter and leave the house. I'm not sure if I'm being unnecessarily pedantic about it and should just let her stay, or if this is valid and I should ask her to find somewhere else to stay. She has other friends here who might be more comfortable with this arrangement.
Yeah, she wants to live there, she needs to pitch in some more money. Because she's already got someone subletting her space, so she's not...
Yeah, she doesn't get 1/3 she doesn't have 1/3 of this house anymore if she's subletting it.
Yeah. Now, I might be if it was for 1 or 2 weekends, I might allow it, just because, hey, I want to stay on good terms with my roommate and it's not that inconvenient. But for months, it sounds like this is going to go on for months.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I don't know if she gave a full...
She's supposed to come back in April and then...
it's supposed to... And then instead it's through September.
Through September.
Can you tell that this post is half a year old?
Yeah. So it sounds like she's going to want to do this arrangement for months, and that's not okay. I'd be like, you need to chip in 2/7 of the rent, because you're going to be sharing space for 2 days of the 7-day week.
Yeah. You almost owe that subletter some of their money back, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they're subletting that space and you want to move into it? That's weird.
That is weird.
Reddit agrees. OP is not the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to move into a house that you're currently subletting out, even if it's just for the weekends.
Yeah.
Top comment. Your roommate contributes the rent for one person, whether it's herself or a sublet. She doesn't get to rent out a room, etc., then stay there in another common room whenever it's convenient for her. You need to set boundaries. She stays or her subletter stays, not both. Not the asshole. She can't sublet her room and still expect to stay any number of days. It's not her apartment anymore. Not until the specified date. Take her key away and tell her to get a hotel or Airbnb for those 2 nights a week. Or she needs to tell the subletter she's going to need her room back. There are so many people who pay for 2 places when they are split on working days and places.
Yeah, it does not seem fair that she's like, I'm just going to mooch off of you guys and stay in your living room without even asking.
All right, that's our last story for this roommate episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.